All right, how's this? How do I get Ronen in here? Good morning and good afternoon. How do I get Ronen? Oh, 911 Lone Star joined. Oh no, wait, join the. Here we go. Did that work? I don't think that worked. Oh, connecting. Hello.
Yeah,
Good morning.
we did it. Good morning.
I worked it out.
Good job. Very impressive.
Thanks. It's all downhill from here.
I know. What's up, man?
How are you?
I'm good, dude. We have a lot of people already. This is crazy.
I'm excited to talk about the work that we did, how it was, the episodes tomorrow,
Oh, yeah.
which I think are going to be. Yeah, my hoodie does say 911, so somebody just asked.
Sick.
So yeah, I think tomorrow's episode is going to be one of the
greatest
best,
ever.
one of the best of either franchise. Like I'm really, really excited for people to see it. I have a question for you.
Okay.
So, what was your first reaction when you found out that we were going to be doing it?
Oh, my God, man. I was crazy excited. I just didn't realize it was going to be this fast. You know, I always heard that, like, you know, we'd let our season sort of play on and really sort of get into the flow of things. But for it to be episode 3, it's pretty immediate, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, and being a fan of the show, I could see why it's so crazy for people because it is so immediate. I was super excited. Also a little nervous, you know, because it's like, the episode is gigantic.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like sort of getting into that after having such a huge break and a lot of time off, and it was a lot of emotions, but it was mainly just excitement, man. How about you?
Yeah. First of all, I totally agree with the immediacy of it, because whenever we start a season, even if it's just a usual hiatus of like 3 months or whatever, those first couple of weeks, I'm always like, how do I do this? Like, can I still do this? Like, you have to like almost warm up. I always feel like some of my biggest scenes get put on my first day. I'm always like, oh, come on. So having this relatively early on into the season was like, but yeah, so I heard about it. I think towards the end of last season. No, that can't have been. It must have been quite early on in the pandemic, where, you know, having conversations about what the upcoming season would be and hearing about it. And yeah, I know what you mean about the kind of nervousness, because even though I've met most of you guys before it, and obviously I know the writers and everything, but it still felt like I'm going to be in a new show. It was almost like first day of school, because you guys obviously will know each other and like know each other and have connections and relationships. And then it's like we were new kids and there was only 3 of us and there's 8 of you. And it was, so it was a little bit intimidating. But everybody was so welcoming.
I'm so intimidating.
So intimidating.
I get it.
Terrifying, truly. But
we didn't even talk.
But you guys were so. Huh?
We didn't even talk the entire time. I told the producers, I was like, Oliver is not allowed to make eye contact with me.
That's what I heard. I heard that you were like that on set.
Yeah, I'm
so that's why I came in with that attitude. But no, you guys were great. And you know, that first day that we shot, which when the episode airs, people see it's like one of the first scenes.
Yeah.
It's a huge scene where we had, you know, maybe 150 background artists, and there was a lot going on, and it was just like it was a big day.
And the smoke everywhere, and it was when literally the entire hillside was on fire.
Yeah.
And if you were there as a stranger, you would have literally thought that the mountain was on fire.
We've had that, you know. We've been shooting, and we've had the fire department called on us because of smoke.
Oh, wow.
In the second season, we did this, like, neighborhood was blowing up. It was at Disney Ranch. And so we had fire, we had smoke. and it
Wow.
was on the news because people thought it was real.
Wow.
And it's
Dude,
always funny when.
If I'm not mistaken, this is the first time Lone Star is fighting a fire.
Oh, same thing. It took us like 2 seasons.
Yeah, I think that's something that people always assume, since we're
Mm-hmm.
firefighters, is that, you know, we're fighting fire, but it's actually like, at least since like modern technology, fires are like super uncommon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mainly like it's medical calls, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe it's something like 80% of the calls that they go on
Yeah.
is medical, which I think is cool because I didn't know that. So to
Yeah, I
show
didn't know
the
that at
like
all.
the wide spectrum of emergencies that these guys and girls are trained for and do go out on, I think is cool because fires are hard, I think, as well to like continually make interesting. Because once you've done a fire, you know, it's like you've done it, you've told it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, thankfully we've got a big one coming up actually in our 5th episode, and it is interesting to see how they make it feel fresh, what they write in, and you know how it feels different than the last.
Is episode 5 your begins episode?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. So a lot went
Those
into
photos
that.
you posted, man, you look like a cowboy. It's amazing.
Yeah, we get little vignettes and glimpses into, you know, the jobs that while he was trying to discover himself, and find out who he is, what paths he took. But it'll be fun. But we're here to talk about the crossover. I can't watch me just make this into a Buck Begins live.
Dude, what was your I can't really pinpoint it, but what was your favorite scene to shoot during the crossover? Oh, also we're not really allowed to like.
No, but we can give
we
enough.
Can. Yeah.
Watch suddenly there's a red dot appears on my head. Disney just. There's 2. It's between 2. There's a scene in the episode to anybody listening, watching, where TK is in quite a vulnerable place, and I bring him some pizza, which goes uneaten. But I really enjoyed that scene because it was a chance. I feel like throughout the shows our characters have been certainly have a lot in common. I think they're both quite chaotic in nature.
Oh, yeah.
Both extremely passionate about their jobs, both really wear their hearts on their sleeves. And so to see those 2 guys kind of be very vulnerable and open with each other when there's so much chaos around them, I really enjoyed that kind of much more intimate moment. So that, or I think there's a scene where we're working the fire line, where myself, you, and Julian as Mateo.
Yeah.
I really like that. Just the 3 different personalities while we're doing our job, like having those kind of conversations where really it's almost like my dad is the strongest dad. You know, it was my firehouse is the coolest firehouse.
Exactly.
So I really enjoyed that. I feel like your answer is probably somewhat similar, but would you say the same ones?
No, it was all the scenes that you weren't in. So it's
And you had so many of those.
Yeah, sorry, dude.
So many crossover moments without me.
Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. No, it is. And what I love about the first scene you mentioned is that the writers were brilliant enough to have us connect on a very specific thing that is very near and dear to our hearts. And you obviously have to watch the scene. But it was beautiful to see them connect on such a crucial thing in their lives. And then you open up to me about something that I don't know if a lot of people know about. And, I'm a complete stranger. But you saw me literally at the lowest, and TK in that moment is super helpless, like truly helpless. Like, I don't know if he's been more helpless throughout the show. And the fact that you did open up to me that way. And, yesterday I was able to reveal like a 5-second snippet of what happens on the fire line. The car coming down.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know that was released.
Yeah.
Okay.
E.T. got an exclusive look. So they revealed a little bit, but it's nice. It's it's, again, it just shows like what our characters go through and just like these little sort of Easter eggs that we're getting so far.
Yeah.
And that's just not even even the beginning of it. There's so much that happens in this episode.
When I was first told, again, not to make this into a Buck Begins live, but when I was first told about that scene that we're talking about, and you're talking about opening up a little bit and talking about, you know, Buck's life, I was told about that scene and told as also like it is part of the lead-in to Buck Begins, you know, the things they're discussing there and family and all these things. So yeah, no, I was really excited. I can't talk anymore. Excited. Do you know why I said excited? Because just as I was saying that, somebody wrote, the yellow clown suit looks good on you guys. So I saw the word suit. So instead of excited, I went for excited. So don't read and talk because you get yourself into trouble. Are you going to be live tweeting the episode?
No, I don't live tweet because, so here's what I do. I don't read any scene that I'm not in. So I actually have no idea what's going on.
And also, why waste the time?
Yeah, if it's not about me, who cares?
Why is that your process? Why don't you read any of those scenes? Because you want to be surprised?
I like watching the show as a fan. And then, you know, unless it like directly has to do with, but even if like, you know, Owen is talking to, let's say, like Tommy about TK, I don't need to know that.
Sure, it's not something that TK would know, so why do you need to know it?
Exactly. And I like truly being surprised when I watch the episode. I think that's why I'm such a big fan of the show, because I have no idea what's happening except for my scenes.
I have no idea what's happening in your scenes, so it's crazy.
But yeah, no, I will not be live tweeting.
Okay.
However, for the crossover, just because I was so excited, I did read the whole episode. But it's still, you can't imagine what it's going to look like from the script to the screen, especially this episode. You know, from all the little snippets that we've seen, it looks like it's going to be like a gigantic war film. So I like just being in the moment, and you know, even the commercials, I sort of geek out over like what commercials are they playing during our show.
Yeah.
It's like, but then obviously, you know, I'll live tweet after. How about you?
I don't think so. I deleted my Twitter app recently, not my account, but just my app. I don't think I'm very good at it, so I'm just stepping away for a minute.
Is there a way to be good at that stuff?
I think so. I find that I have struggled to express myself the way I mean on there sometimes, which then leads to misinterpretation, which leads to offense being caused when I just, yeah. But I miss it because there were some people on there that I really enjoyed, a lot of people, but I just, yeah, just for the moment, I think it's best for everybody's interest if I just take a few weeks away. And then at some point come back. But yeah, it was I've had a lot of fun on there, like tweeting with people through episodes in the past, and because, you know, anytime you make something, you make it for an audience. You don't make it just for yourself. So to see an audience reacting to it, and you know, which is quite a new thing. 5 years ago, 10 years ago, when Twitter wasn't so big, you didn't get that immediate feedback.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's such an interesting thing to get to be a part of, and yeah. So I will go back to it because I do miss it. I just, for now, I think is maybe for the best.
Take your time, man.
Yes. How are we gonna get the 126 out to LA?
Oh my God, dude. Another fire?
Well, you should be a writer.
I'm really creative. No, but it's funny that, like, you know, well, it's not funny, but California has had some of the worst wildfires in the last, like, 5 years. And, you know, you would assume that would be one of the reasons. It's interesting that, you know, there's a lot of forest in Texas, obviously, but it's interesting that the wildfire was in Texas. But, I mean, it would make a lot of sense for it to be a wildfire in Los Angeles. And that's what happened in real life. You know, the past, I think, 3 years, there's been departments that have come in from all different states and cities. And I think that's sort of where they were inspired by the storyline, is that that actually happens. You know, when you don't have enough resources in your city or county, you have to have people come and help. And you know, it's a long drive, but it's doable.
20 hours, I believe.
Yeah, 20 hours.
We say in the episode, but yeah.
So, I mean, that's not too bad. But yeah, you would think a fire. What about you?
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
Okay. I thought my phone crumbled.
It was Disney.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe the
Disney
next
knows.
one isn't. Yeah. Don't give away all the ideas. Maybe it doesn't need to be an emergency. Maybe it's you know, because obviously there have been connections now built. Maybe there's something where you guys are coming out to see us, and I mean, I think I said something quiet enough. That anyway, fudge is what I said.
Oh my God! Did you just curse?
Never. So yeah, so we always used to talk about, or our class used to joke about, like, maybe we all go to, because we wanted to go and film in Hawaii. Maybe we all go and shoot in Hawaii, as like the one team goes on holiday, and then the emergency happens while we're there, and we just like, oh, we can pitch in. So maybe it's that kind of thing where you guys just come in to hang out, and catastrophe strikes, the aliens land, and it's all hands on deck, standing on top of the fire truck, hoses pointed up into the air. Which I'm sure by like season 8, I don't know how, you know, Tim and those guys are gonna, they just continue to come up with these incredible emergencies. But I do think at some point it's like, what do you do? Thankfully, it's not our job, but they keep on mining these things for gold.
We've done almost every major natural disaster there is. You know, what's next? But I like that idea. You know, they've even been teasing it a little bit with, like, they've been doing this new thing, I'm sure a lot of people have seen, where it's like Owen is texting
on the Instagram stories,
their captain, and then Marjan was texting Angela, and it's like, oh, you know, if you're ever in Texas, let's get a coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Eddie's from Texas.
Which is how I always thought maybe the crossover would go. Like, that we would be going there to see Eddie's family or something, and then we get brought together. That was my not writer brain idea, which is not anywhere near as dramatic or as epic as what actually happened. Well, we're just going to see his family.
If you remember in, I won't say when, one of the scenes together, you may or may not have left a slightly open door.
Yeah.
Disney's here. I gotta go. Yeah, no, for sure. So those relationships have certainly, and also I feel like anything that big that these characters have gone through, you know, on the scale they're dealing with, of course bonds are going to be quickly formed, and you know, when you put characters in such an intense environment and have them really on the brink and then coming back from that, I think people are always going to be, you know, really invested in each other by that point. Yeah.
So
you know,
yeah.
Obviously, everyone's going to want to see it, you know, and I think, you know, you could just assume that we're going to come to you guys eventually. Aren't we shooting the crossover next week?
that soon, huh? Yes, sure.
It's like Buck begins, we come to Los Angeles. That's what's on my schedule.
For Buck ends.
Buck ends.
I shouldn't joke like that.
No.
Writers, someone probably from the writers was probably watching. Ooh, Buck ends. Scribbles that down. Like, yeah, maybe. Damn it, no, I've done it to myself.
Absolutely.
Should we see if any people have any questions that they want to ask? Which I'm sure there are some.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this is the most people I've ever had on Instagram Live. I guess
does anybody have a
question? Because of your silly mug, that's why.
I don't think that's quite true.
All right.
Yeah, no, I was joking. Buck's not dying. Anybody got a question? That isn't
Someone
just...
says, can you do your American accent?
That's not a real question.
I've been doing it the whole time, but well.
You have? Could do you some work. Oh, I like this question, although it's a bit spoilery, so we'll have to answer it without. What's your favorite part of the crossover that doesn't involve you?
No comment. Who cares? Just kidding.
Great. There are other scenes. What do you mean? My favorite part of the crossover, that isn't me, involves Judd. And you won't have read the scene because you're not in it. But I have read the scene. And there's a moment where Judd goes full, what I like to refer to as Judd mode, and brings somebody, gets in there and is the most Judd he can be in that moment, and pulls somebody back. And I just think it's so powerful. Reading it, I was like, man, he's gonna crush this moment. So I'm really excited to see it tomorrow night. I was like, what?
Oh, I actually have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, well, when you watch it, there's a scene with Judd.
Is it with another member of your team or our team?
Yeah, Eddie is there. No, he's not there. It's Judd and Paul.
Huh? No idea.
Well, because it doesn't say TK on the page. So why would you read that?
I'm excited. I'm excited.
Any favorite stunts from the crossover?
Yes, I was talking about it the other day. You were so badass in the scene. We're pulling up to the helicopter crash. You of course are hanging off the side of the truck. It's so awesome. And then we both hop out at the same time, and we're like hauling ass towards this crashed helicopter. And like you climb into it and I climb under it, and we like yell at each other, and then I pop out, and then I jump from the helicopter onto the ground, and then we sprint towards the forest. And that, I mean, dude, you do that like a couple dozen times, your blood is pumping so hard, and I had such an adrenaline high that day. And you know, you can't fake that. Like they put in a weird little ladder in the helicopter, but at one point I just started like literally scaling the wall.
Yeah.
And then you jump down, and that was really exhilarating. It was really
I remember when we were setting it up, Brad Beaker, who's the director of the episode, he was like, all of you come from this side. And I looked at it, and there's like one of the rungs up there, and I was like, you want me to just climb it and come in from the top? And he was like, yeah. I was like, yeah. So we did that, and I don't know if you can see, but you see all this here? This is tattoo cover, so ignore that. But like these bits,
yeah, what is that?
because I scraped myself up, and it's scarred. So I have this same thing here, this scar here from climbing that helicopter.
Oh shit! Really?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, I know I got scratched up on the day we had the medic come over, disinfect it because it was a rusty helicopter. But I've been left with remnants of the crossover on my body. So as much as I try and forget that experience,
you'll never forget me now.
As much as I try, it's just
I got a new one.
Yeah, what'd you do?
I tripped.
We put it on a hat.
Yeah.
On the show or just in your life?
No, it was on the show. I didn't trip. I forgot what I did. This week has been a blur. It's weird coming back from holiday and then going into
what episode are you guys shooting?
Huh?
What number episode are you guys shooting now?
We're about to be done with 6, which might be my most crucial episode I've had so far.
TK begins?
No. TK ends.
Yes. I mean,
No, it's man, I don't even know if you know. Like, I don't know. No, we talked about it in private. I think.
I don't know your story.
Yeah, why would you wouldn't even ask? You don't care. So.
Yeah,
no, but
it's much like you not reading other people's scenes. I want to be surprised.
No, it's insane. It's a new chapter in TK's life. That's all I can say.
I'm very intrigued.
A big chapter. So we'll see.
Okay. I'm very intrigued. I don't know what that could be.
I'll tell you after.
All right. All right, watch the episode. What are your
favorite color? My favorite color is blue, green, sometimes yellow. Thanks for asking.
That'll pull the ratings in, questions like that. What's been the most rewarding thing to you being part of Lone Star?
Oh my God, dude. It's been a lot. It's been the greatest sort of moment of my life and obviously career, but I've connected with people from probably every single part of the world now. If there was a country that I thought would not be able to see this show, they have. Literally from the furthest parts of the planet, someone has reached out and said, the show has touched me, or I can relate to the character, or, you know, I feel seen, I feel heard, I feel, you know, understood for the first time ever. And I think that's the beauty of our shows being on network television, you know, because we have such a huge access to an audience.
Mm-hmm.
I saw you guys averaged like 11 million the last 2 episodes, and we averaged 9.7. It's like, that is so many people. I still have a hard time wrapping my head around it.
Mm.
You know, that's more than like most cities. And it, you know, to hear some like really gnarly personal stories for someone that is just, you know, a TV character to them, to see how people connect to characters on television or film, it really changes, at least for me, it changed my whole sort of perspective of like what this show is, what this character means. You know, because I love TK very much, but it adds such another layer of like what TK means to people. And it's just, you know, it's just a major responsibility that I'm super proud to take on. Mm-hmm. But, you know, it's just, you know, you have so many people to sort of go to work for, so many people to, you know, put in your best effort and put in, you know, your what's that word? English is my third language. Just put in your greatest effort. You know, there's times where I'm so beat up or I'm so exhausted. You know, we shoot 14, 16 hours sometimes. Got to wake up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning. And if I'm like, I don't want to go to work, it's like so many people are relying on you to go to work right now. You know?
Yeah.
Like they need to see this show for multiple reasons. It could just be an hour of escapism from their real lives. Are you crying? Yeah. I'm sorry. It's okay.
No, I was getting a bit bored, sorry. No, I just sank in my eye. No, I understand that.
Wow. Whatever.
I was crying.
And, like,
no, I think that's a lovely answer, and I understand it.
That's for sure the biggest thing.
I get that. I feel the same.
You can go to sleep now.
Thank you. No. I can relate to that. It's you know, it's certainly the biggest thing I've ever been a part of, with the widest reaching thing, and it's cool to be a part of something like that where literally, as you say, all over the world. And I think they're very hopeful shows. You know, I'm often asked, why do you think the 911 franchise has had so much success? And I think because there's a lot of TV sites take a really dark turn, I think, where everybody wanted gritty and
yes.
You know, then 911, the original came out, you know, 3-4 years ago, and it was like, look how shiny we are, and everybody's like, it's just bright and happy. And then, you know, Lone Star continues that in a sense of, as civilians, it's always nice to know that when you get in danger, there are these people that will run into that fire. They will run towards it when everybody else wants to run away. So I think it's a very hopeful thing, and to shine the light on those people, and not in, because I don't consider them procedurals.
No.
I think that was the like hook, but it's not. It's not just about them going to work. It's absolutely about them going home and the people that they are. So to show that and to highlight that these people that will run into the danger for you are real people, and they do have their own issues and their own emergencies, and they drop all that so that they can save you, I think is a very lovely reminder and a very hopeful thing. And I think both shows achieved that wonderfully.
Absolutely, especially after the year we've had, when first responders are literally on the front lines. It's just a nice little reminder of like, they're just regular people. They have families, you know, they're somebody's brother, sister, whatever, you know.
They're just brave men and women who.
That's a decent answer.
Thanks, man. I had it here. I got a little script.
You wrote it down.
Yeah. I figured I'll ask him the question because then I know he'll ask me the question, and I'll read, and
wow,
it'll go down well, hopefully.
This is going horribly.
A lot of people seem to think your house is on fire. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure if you're reading those comments, but a lot of people think there's a fire in your house. It's something burning.
It's
all
incense.
right. It's incense. All right.
Yeah, I like.
Everybody, calm down.
You know?
And if it was burning down, he's highly trained. Probably.
Highly trained.
Possibly.
I'd probably
Maybe.
call you.
It's too far away.
I know. I'd be screwed.
You'd be screwed by the time you'd be.
Oh yeah,
burnt.
yeah. Ronen, what's smoking? Why so many smoke? It's just incense. I wanted to set the mood for Oliver, but
wasn't into it.
Yeah, sorry. It burned out literally just now, so it's fine.
Phew. Everybody can relax. Lots of people want you to talk about Tarlos. So what's going on? Oh.
What?
Oh.
All right. You know what? I got to say it because I got to say it. 2 words. Episode 4.
What does it all mean?
I've been teasing people all year about 2 scenes that might be the new fan favorites.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was worried. I thought you meant like it's done.
Oh, hell no.
Oh, okay. Okay. Season 4. I mean, episode 4. Episode 4. I was talking about my show. No, I meant episode 4. Episode 4. 2 scenes.
That's where they come. This is an exclusive reveal.
Okay.
And no, we have not seen them yet in the promos.
Okay.
I hope they don't. I really hope they don't show you anything. What we're wearing, what the setting is. And I meet his parents, episode 4.
And here it is. Oh, I hope they don't tell you anything. Anyway, this is what it is.
No, that's public information. The parents is public.
Oh, okay. That's all right. Something to look out for.
Hold on.
Oh, there's more.
Do you have a love interest this season?
Not yet. I think I don't know if you, and I don't want to assume that you would, but I don't know if you watch our show. But at the end of our 3rd season, don't roll your eyes. At the end of our 3rd season, you know, he kind of got his closure from his previous relationship, which was with Abby.
Yes.
And now, so we just revealed at the end of our second episode of this season that he's in therapy.
Yes.
So it's very much a time of growth, and he's working on himself, and you know, I think it's very much that thing of, and I know it's so cliche to say, but until you love yourself, you can't properly love somebody else. And so it really seems like the stuff that he worked through in the first 5-6 episodes of the season are things that he has to deal with, or he's just going to take these issues into his next relationship and his next relationship. So yeah, it's very much a time for him to process why he is who he is, what's made him this way. And then who knows going forward, you know, what they'll end up writing for Buck. But yeah, no, right now it seems like a time of just him growing into himself and kind of moving past certain things.
Yeah.
And also I think it's great to show therapy.
Yes, I was just gonna say that, especially from such a like, masculine, a very big character, very quote unquote manly. There's a weird stigma that men shouldn't or can't do therapy. It's not very machismo. And I think that's complete horseshit. I have a therapist. I don't know what your thing is, but I think it's everyone should be able to talk about their feelings and their past.
Absolutely.
And we don't realize how much our past or grown up as a kid, wherever you are, how much that affects us today as adults.
Yeah.
And it's hard to process all that completely on your own. These like therapists are professionals for a reason. That's their job. And sometimes you just need to vent to someone that is, very much neutral.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. Like one of the things that I've always loved about Buck is that he is all those things you described. Then he's also like super vulnerable and okay with his emotions, and like to show that you can be both things at the same time. I think it's quite a rare thing on TV. I don't think we've been given a lot of that. It tends to be like manly man,
exactly,
or soft and I'm emotional, and like to show that no, like human beings have so many different layers. It's always been, I think, one of my favorite things about the whole show. So and of course, being able to go to therapy in itself is even a privilege. There's a cost involved there, but if there is access to it, you're right. I just think it's beneficial for anyone. I know that for me, growing up in the UK, like therapy actually seems a bit more accepted out here than I ever found it to be in the UK. When I was growing up, I felt like, or at least in the groups or the settings I was growing up in, therapy was like this thing that you went to when everything had gone wrong.
Yes.
Whereas what I've understood here and learned from people is that therapy is much more a thing of just keeping that balance. And then it's totally an important and normal thing to talk.
Yep.
And like to express those emotions and let them out. And so to get to show that on TV, and there's actually a scene coming up. I know they teased it in a trailer where my dad, who comes into the show, says, "Oh, you're in therapy." And it's kind of this thing of like, it's not about the job, which would be more socially acceptable maybe, but it's like, no, it's about me. And to be okay with that. So yeah, I'm really glad that we're showing that storyline and just having this characters dealing with things.
Yeah, it's the same thing, man. I grew up in with really heavy Russian culture, and it's the men never talk about their feelings. Even women, nobody talks about their feelings. It's a very cold. I know this is very stereotypical, but
sure,
it's a very cold culture. Especially my parents are from the Soviet Union, and it's like feelings. We didn't talk about them. Like it was. You had to survive. We don't care how you feel, just survive.
Yeah.
And growing up in America, it was a culture shock that, like, first of all, we're allowed to talk about it, and now as an adult, it's encouraged. So it's really important that you guys are showing that storyline, specifically with your character.
Yeah.
And then what you said, which is really interesting. Like on the surface, many people might think that Buck is this like really like machismo, tough, charismatic dude, but on the inside he's super vulnerable, and I think that's what connects Buck and TK in the crossover. And it's a full circle, and it's like you said, we do have a lot of similarities, and we definitely wear our heart on our sleeves, and I think that's why people connect to them so much, is that because we're showing all these layers, and it's not very much, we're not judging a book by its cover with these characters. There's so much going on with these two. And I think it's such a beautiful connection for them too.
No, I agree. And I'm excited for people to see it tomorrow. 911 is at 8/7 Central. 911 Lone Star, 9/8 Central. Yeah, didn't mess that up. And I'm really excited for people to see it. And a lot of different people's hard work went into it. So I hope they.
Wait, so is the episode before the crossover? You guys pretty much leaving for Texas?
Yeah, so it leads directly in. You know, you get a bit of build up and some Easter eggs into it, and then
So
yeah.
it's 2 hours of Buck.
Absolutely.
Who
I'm
wants to watch
sure
that?
3,031 people just made that same face. That's
Jesus
it.
Christ. We're gonna see a dramatic dip.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're gonna learn their lesson real fast. But cool. What are you doing for the rest of the day?
Man, fireplace and naps and hydration.
Sounds good.
That's about it, man. We work tomorrow. I have a big Tarlos scene tomorrow for episode 7.
All right.
Still haven't read it, which is annoying, but it's okay. What about you?
Same old. You know, it's not much to do at the moment. So
No.
yeah, I'm gonna probably look at my scenes for the week. I'm off tomorrow, but then I'm gonna start Tuesday. So just get ahead and go eat some food.
Oh, what are you gonna eat?
I don't know. I made a vegetable curry last night. I have leftovers. Probably that. Nothing exciting. Nothing ever is. That sounds so depressing. But
That's gonna be the title of your book. Nothing exciting.
Yeah.
Nothing ever is.
Whew,
Listen,
copies
vegetable
flying
curry
off the
gets me
shelves.
very excited.
Hmm?
Vegetable curry gets me very excited. I'm gonna go get there's this place near where I'm staying. They make the most insane vegan burritos with a bell pepper tortilla wrap.
All right. Sounds good. Maybe I want to make that as well then. I'm
Hey.
jealous now. Cool. All right. Well, listen, I'm glad we got to
Been
do
a
this.
pleasure.
They told us 10, 15 minutes. We've been on for 42 minutes. So a lot of fluff.
Wait,
But-
they told us we can only be on here for 10 to 15 minutes?
Not that they said to me I only have to be on here for 10 or 15 minutes.
Oh.
I said, wait, how long am I going to have to talk to this guy? They said, just 10, 15 minutes. I said, all right, fine.
Make it 8.
Yeah. All right, that's the highest, but right. But I'm glad we
Yeah,
did
well,
it.
it's been lovely, man. Tomorrow's I think it's gonna change our franchise, man.
I hope so. I think, as I say, a lot of hard work went in from a lot of different people, and I think that will be reflected in the episode, and I think you guys are all going to love it.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right.
All right, man.
See
Pleasure.
you. Have a good one.
I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, you will.